could cage me. They thought they could keep me down. Well, I was gone for one episode, but I'm back for another. It's one shot, one quill. I'm Spencer, and in fact, at the end of the day, I'm the only host left. Ben's gone. Highlander, there can be only one. One Shot, One Quill is a fantasy tabletop podcast where normally Ben and I, the handsome, disappeared, ever-elusive Ben Morrison, slippery, greased-up pick of a man. You can never get a handle on him. He's here one day, gone the next. He might be your dad. We talk about randomly generated tabletop adventures. One-shots, if you will. We take suggestions from Twitter, and then we randomly roll those up. We pick a premise and 2 items that you would find in an adventure, and we cobble them together. We bash them together by the face, by the scruff of their necks, to try and make something passable that you and your players could get through in one night. Typically, they're based around fantasy. We've done sci-fi, we've done westerns, and today I'm joined by my interview host. He's world-renowned. He's promoting his new book, The Rage Never Stops Coming, out now in bookstores everywhere. Nathan, how are you? How are you, my brother?
Oh, I just blew the levels out on that one. All right, gonna compress that one after the fact, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, how are we all doing?
Nathan, welcome to the show. Would you say you've heard the show, yes? I
have listened to 2 episodes of the show, yes.
Perfect.
And the rest of it I will not listen to out of just pure brotherly. I must antagonize you, or I will not get you into your final form.
It's only fair. I think that's really what drives the 2 of us as content creators. You have a show that I've listened to probably, I think, like a cumulative... Now, I've listened to far more than 2 episodes as a thing, but in the grand scheme of it, I've listened to an equal percentage of your show as you have listened to this one. That seems fair to say.
I think percentage-wise you may have it, yes.
And for that reason, I think we drive each other to keep one-upping, to try and finally make the thing that ropes the other one in.
The difference is you listen to my show backwards like a lunatic.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that.
I do, yes. Sort of like how I've gotten through a lot of shows is like a psychopath. I do the most current episode, then I just kind of go backwards. And then when a new one comes out, I'll come back and go all the way forward. It's like Pulp Fiction. I do Pulp Fiction, but for podcast.
That's probably a podcast right now. Pulp Fiction for podcasts. It probably exists. It's already a thing.
Pulp Fiction for podcast, except Quentin Tarantino didn't want me to watch the movie that way. He gave me a regular produced movie, and I grabbed the reel and I cut it up in different places, and I said, no, this is how I want to enjoy it.
You can't tell me, you weird foot fetishist, you.
This is also what Nathan and I haven't had a chance to record with each other for nigh on like 4 months.
It's been a minute.
I say haven't had the chance. That speaks more to both of our willpower and scheduling than actual circumstances, but...
Which is none and poor.
There you go. The only reason this is happening now is because a responsible adult, Ben Morrison, it needs this show to come out every Tuesday. So if you want more Cock and Bull podcast, Ben has to become our manager. That's just how it works.
That's the rule.
Nathan, today,
yes,
to make this show happen, I need you to fill in Ben's role and roll me some numbers. So we need a 1 out of 14 premises we're working with today.
3.
3. The party is approached by an NPC that claims to have detailed evidence of an assassination plot. The NPC even shows them plans that he stole from the assassin. After the attempt is made, the PCs are framed, and the detailed evidence that they've been given is found in their room at the inn.
Good.
A devilish setup. I feel like this is the second I've been framed we've had in the last, 3 episodes. It's becoming a trend.
It's a solid premise. What are you going to do with it? It's a good premise. You don't throw them out.
I'm just saying, we have a lot of items that claim to do one thing but actually do another, and we have a lot of I've been framed, and it's been a while, but Quest Giver Bad has made its comeback. That's a trope we've relied on for this show. How about two items to back this up?
Sounds good. What dice am I rolling for that?
16 options today, sir.
Stars up. 4.
4. A failed attempt at selectively breeding a disenchanter beast, simply called a misenchanter beast. It operates just like its relatives, but instead of just removing enchantments from magical items, the Misadventure beast adds a different enchantment in its place.
Good to know.
If anyone's not familiar with these things, I think the last version of D&D they were in was a long time ago. It was probably 2nd edition. But a disenchanter beast, you could probably find it. Pathfinder would be the closest like modern analog you're going to find, but a disenchanter. It looks like a blue camel with an elephant's trunk. And this thing is very intelligent. It covets magical energy, and so like it can sniff it out with its little snoot. And much like Nunu from the Teletubbies, this thing wants to suck stuff up, and so it approaches parties, and it's very passive, it's very friendly, and that's the kicker, because if it gets its little snoot into your bag or up against your like magic sword, your magic shield, it just sticks its little trunk onto it, and it sucks all the magic off of it and makes it a mundane item. Which makes them incredibly dangerous if you have, like, even a legendary artifact. It can just, sorry, your sun sword is a sword handle. I don't make the rules.
I do. I'm a DM. I'm God, but yeah, I don't like you today.
And what sucks is it's a social animal. It wants to meet people. It wants to come explore, and it's very curious. But the downside is it also it ruins items.
It ruins items and makes people hate it. It's cursed.
Exactly. It's a very innocent animal, but it just accidentally does terrible things. So we have a botched version of that, a misenchanter, which doesn't delete the enchantment, it just replaces it with something different. How you would go about doing that is, we don't really get into the nitty-gritty, but I think you could do like
a rollable table of sorts.
Whole bunch of ways you could do that. You could even just roll for a different magic item off the magic items table and just put its effect onto whatever you're holding.
That I like. I enjoy a sword having the properties of like a cloak or something like that. That just feels fun to me.
Yeah. Like, congrats. You don't have a drift globe. You have a drift shield. I don't. Dumbest fucking magic item I've ever seen. But let's get a second item in here.
Second item, 6.
Okay. Vertical slide flute. This magical flute allows the user to elevate themselves up to 25 feet by blowing the slide whistle. They can descend by blowing on the whistle. While in the air, they cannot move without the aid of the flute, so they can only go up and down with an accompanying pew. Pew. I want to thank Andy for that one, sincerely.
That is very good. That is very good.
Okay, now we have to incorporate those into a murder mystery, which is I'm not going to say the hardest thing I've ever done, but
you really brought me on for a fun one here. This is a wackadoozle.
I feel like Clarice Starling was just called in to like deal with Hannibal Lecter and Buffalo Bill. Fuck, make it work. Okay.
The misenchanter beast being set loose inside. I imagine him being like a pet of the king or something to that effect. He's a lovable scamp of sorts. Mm-hmm. The king likes to have around just to fuck with people. Just to kind of, it turned your thing into another thing. Oh, whoops-a-doodle. And our assassin has craftily using this beast to turn a normal piece of food or something else the king is going to eat into a various poison.
Oh, damn.
So I imagine our party are bringing, they're coming to the king and they're having dinner with the king. They get an audience somehow or another to let him know what's going on. But our mischievous assassin has planted the misenchanter beast in. The thing usually has a disenchanter beast, but he's replaced it with a misenchanter beast in order to really fuck everything up and put some poison on that effect.
Damn. Okay. And so if we're following an investigative trail, because if we approach this from a Phoenix Wright scenario where you've been put on trial for murdering the king, of course they're going to say, now if you insist that you're innocent, we're going to give you 24 hours to prove that you are in fact innocent. So go buck
because
wild.
That's how the law works.
That's how the law works. So maybe there's some tracks that lead back from this informant back to the pen where this thing's normally kept.
And you can tell very easily that it's the wrong one, because instead of being a blue camel with an elephant's trunk, it is a purple elephant with a camel's hump. Now, how does that work? I don't know. That's not my job. I'm just an ideas man. I'm just throwing shit at the wall.
Zentarim. I'm just gonna slap my Zentarim card down. Because when I hear fancy magic beasts that we're able to do swapsies with, I think this informant works for the D&D Forgotten Realms crime syndicate, the Zentarim.
Yes.
They, in my opinion, are great for, like, taming or domesticating, hanging on to weird exotic animals, like you would associate with a mob. So, like, a pet basilisk, a pet disenchanter, you know. The practical uses of a pet disenchanter are a bit beyond me. I don't really know why a mob boss would have that as opposed to a basilisk.
What are the practical uses of a pet Bengal tiger?
I mean, looking badass.
And does a purple elephant with a camel's hump not also kind of look badass?
I'm gonna say no. It sounds kind of lame. It sounds kind of weird.
No, it just looks like an elephant with a tumor. I get it,
yeah,
but that's not the point.
Okay.
It's different. It's unique, and that's all that counts in this world.
Okay, fair enough. Unique. You got me. Okay, it's unique. Just saying, Giovanni didn't have like a fucking Diglett. Giovanni had a Persian. A beautiful beast.
Exactly. This is a beautiful beast. And this one is not a beautiful beast. This one is supposed to be the best of his breed. It's unique. It does, a disenchanter, that thing will only take away magical effects. This one can grant magical effects. It's special. It'll do all sorts of fun things. And he could show it off, and it could do some fun like, ooh, it turned my water into wine. This is fun. Little do you know it's going to turn your food to poison.
Okay. This beast is going to get loose on the feast itself.
On the feast itself? Or maybe it just touches a thing and turns it into a bomb. I don't know.
Okay, so like, I'm imagining it wants to take magical items and swap the enchantment. So like any enchanted foods, any sweet ambrosia waters or whatever the fuck, this thing's going to take anything that exists magical that's edible. It's going to swap it into something that's probably bad for the king.
The king, because they live in, this is a rundown town. This is not a highfalutin place. This is not a place that gets the fancy stuff in the world. So of course you're casting prestidigitation or whatever other various cantrip you can cast that makes the thing smell better, makes the thing look better. You're going to be doing those minor magical effects, and I'm just going to make it poisonous now.
I feel twice as bad for not only is the king, I mean, clearly fearing for his life, but he's also apparently the king of Shittsville, it sounds like. My court jester has to improve the corn.
You don't start your assassinations with the king of the high place, all right? You start low, you work your way up.
Yeah, he's a cadet Zentarim agent, so he's...
Obviously, this isn't a foolproof... Like, look at the plan this guy has concocted. You're not unleashing this on, like, the king of Stormwind or something. You're going to start small and work your way up, and this is his harebrained scheme.
He's not a scabs cutter butter. He's he's all about the art of it, really. If he wanted to just kill the king, you stab him. But no, this guy's got to make a whole show.
No.
A Rube Goldberg.
He's got to make a whole to-do. Oh, my God. You know he's just waiting with his to unload his master plan with its 14 steps in his mind palace. He wants to so bad.
My first thought for the slide flute was, oh, my God, this is a magic slide flute on this list. How did this happen? But my second thought that I needed for the show to work was... is this like an escape method? Is this like well, he wouldn't need to escape. I don't know. I mean, he's framing them. So, shit. I mean, do you have anything on the slide flute here?
Where does the magic slide flute come? The magic slide flute is how the group is going to do some stealthy investigating. You have to, you don't expect to be able to get to the top of a building making weird whistling noises. No one expects that. You expect the fly spell. You expect silent incursion, not the weird whistling of an off-tune bird in the background.
It's quite the stealthy endeavor to announce your presence with a pew.
Look, all right, it wasn't a fully fleshed out thought. All right, I'm working here.
I'll play along with this. So let's say the gang has been thrown in prison, the setup to the adventure, this is really like, all of what we've talked about here has been the opening text, is like, you guys are invited for dinner, and bada bing, one thing leads to another, you've been framed for murder, you're in this jail cell. You're going to be executed on the morrow. So you guys have a one night in the jail cell to try and break out, prove your innocence, whatever you got to do.
What if your jail cell... Because let's see, again, this is Shittsville. They can't afford bars. They can't afford things.
They can't afford bars.
they can't afford in Shittsville? A big-ass hole to throw you in. They dig a big-ass hole, and they put you at the bottom of the hole, and that's where you go to stay. And it's 30 feet up. You can't climb the hole. It's like the thing you got to climb out. It's the prison in The Dark Knight Returns. It's that... It's the one that Talia al Ghul has to climb out of. And no one's going to climb out of it, but no one expects to get out of it with a magical slide whistle.
In this hole, do they... Are the players alone? Like, is there like, say, an old man that's gonna kind of like key your fucking vertebrae back in place?
Oh no, there's a motley crew down in the hole. Are you kidding me? The hole is half the adventure. You're meeting the people. You're uncovering. You got to find the magical slide whistle. And rumor has it, Old Man Carruthers is the keeper of the magical slide whistle. But you got to do his 3 quests to unlock it from him.
How many quests does he have at the bottom of a hole?
There's a lot of problems at the bottom of the hole, Spencer.
I believe
this is a big ass hole.
I believe it. Chief and foremost is you're at the bottom of a hole, but you've also got like Toby hasn't been using the shower bucket, and God, does he reek?
No. I need you to liven my spirits. Please tell me a tale of my homeland that inspires me. I don't know.
Some moles are encroaching on our territory. I need you to fuck them up.
I need you to kill 3 gnolls, please. I mean,
they also
bring me their hides. Of course they are. They're the street gang underground. Are you kidding me?
How big is this hole? This sounds like a massive hole if you've got like ghettos down in it where the gnolls hang out.
Have you seen The Dark Knight Rises? There are lots of holes. It's a big hole.
Admittedly, it's been a long time, but you did.
It has been a long. Yeah, no one should have watched that movie
I did not rewatch it.
It's fine.
I rewatched enough YouTube clips of it to remember. Man, they really had like a weird thing going where all of the cops, every Gotham cop, all at once went into the sewers at the same time, and nobody said, "Should we do a second draft on this one?" Or
maybe have a B team.
I think maybe send 2 or 3 in just to scope it out.
No. If you're gonna do something, you do it right, and you send the whole damn squad.
You send them all in at once, and they really just kind of locked the door behind him. It's, if anything, makes it more apparent that Heath Ledger died and they scrapped the entire script they had for that movie and rewrote it in one night. It's that. That's all the evidence.
Here's the thing. They learned from watching the Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers. You don't send one guy at a time at the bad guy. You rush him. You bum rush him, and he won't see you coming.
So when they all got down there, were they going to do the video game thing where like all of that, they're only going to fight him one at a time, and so Bane's going to take on one cop at a time as all of the other 10,000 watch?
They were going to do the smart thing, and all 500 of them were going to cap him one after another and be like, look, we got the guy. We did it. It was a good plan. It just lacked the foresight of what if anything possible went wrong.
So Nikki Sixx, the leader of this motley crew down here, has the little slide flute. And we're going to earn that from him by accomplishing his 3 trials. We go whoop as everyone chants the sacred song as you fly up to the top.
And it's just all of them emulating the noise. They've never been able to hit the right tone to get it to go. You have to be a savant. You have to, if your party doesn't have a bard, you're fucked. No one's playing this thing.
And I'm assuming as you're doing this, so that's going to form a terrible choir of a horrible asynchronous choir of people emulating it. And so with that foul siren song, you're going to reach the top of the pit, and I'm assuming nobody's been on guard duty. It's Shittsville. Don't even throw people in the pit and then go home.
That's the benefit of the pit. You don't have to guard the pit.
Exactly.
It's the pit.
Exactly.
You're saving on labor costs. You're saving on maintenance costs. You're saving on all sorts of costs. You just need a guy to throw down the gruel once a day, and you're fine.
If we're thinking about it, they can't afford bars. Can they afford guards? Is this?
No, you don't have to pay him. It's a gig job. You pay a DoorDash guy you're a ye olde DoorDash guy once a week to go throw some gruel down in the pit. That's all you got to do. That's an easy thing. But you're not even paying him benefits.
Somebody had to arrest you though. Somebody had to arrest you and put you in the pit. Who was that? Is my question.
It's a people's militia. It's an organized it's a commune organization.
The volunteer
Now they
force.
have a king, which defies the whole commune, but you takes the good, you takes the bad.
Well, he's a king, everybody. There has to be one unifying force in Shittsville, and if it's not just a sense of endearment, a Great Depression sense of endearment that exists within all of them, It is that charismatic king of Shittsville.
It is.
Who needs to be snuffed out by the Zentarim to kind of remind everyone that nothing's sacred.
Course. Because they've realized, the Zentarim have realized, you know what's at the bottom of the hole? The bottom of the hole is filled with gemstones and all sorts of things that you can mine. They got to get at the hole. They got to get a whole monopoly going here.
And their plan to do that is to frame a bunch of people for murder, potentially kill the king, and then once there's no king of Shittsville, we can just move in and take over this whole operation.
Because there's no one guarding it, because they don't have guards.
It's very true. Okay, I'm getting why this guy's the cadet in the Zentarim. And so you're going to slide whistle your way out of the pit, and then there's got to be some kind of cookie crumb trail that we're going to follow that pins the tail on the Zentarim. We find the guy that's responsible for all this. We tell the king, hooray, hurrah, we saved the day.
Well, the king is dead. The king is dead.
Oh, okay, so when we said attempted, the king did die. Okay. So
maybe not. Okay, so maybe not. Maybe he didn't die.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
I assume.
Maybe you're telling the king, maybe you're telling the king's wife, maybe you're telling the surrogate king, which is
the charismatic town guardsman who's taken over.
Thank you. Yes, the Barney Fife. You're going to tell him what's going on.
Yes. And then this town will be liberated from having a king. They'll realize they don't need any hierarchical leadership organizations, and they will lead themselves.
Yes, this is
with all the
conclusion.
newfound gold and gemstones at the bottom of the pit.
Yes, Nathan, why haven't we brought you on before? We've reached the natural conclusion and found a sound moral tale at the end of this. So let's talk about this little cookie crumb trail, and I think we'll be all set. The Disenchanter Beast, which was the fan favorite of the king, was swapped out with a Misenchanter Beast. And that thing fucked up the buffet table. So maybe this tampering was done before the feast, maybe not. When we're talking about the plans, like what the party was framed for, was the party framed? Is there documentation that frames them for like buying or buying at auction this Misenchanter Beast?
Oh yes, there's a bill of sale for a defective Disenchanter Beast, and it's marked defective. Only does poisons, not good.
That's a really specific stamp. I just want to point out, but
I feel like you would want to know these kind of things.
Very true, very true. I just feel bad for the guy that labored away at that rubber stamp and got to use it once.
Exactly.
He thought he was going to get a lot of mileage.
He really got his money's worth out of that one.
So they've got that bill of sale. Now they need to track back to where that Misenchanter Beast actually came from. I'm wondering if maybe they can follow some strange hoof prints or the cart that it was brought in on. Maybe that's going to lead back to a little Zentarim hideaway, like a secret, because they got their speakeasies or what have you. Maybe we're going to find one of their hideouts, just a safe space, safe room, whatever.
Which is your explosive combat scene, because everybody has to fight to you've busted in on them.
You got to break out, have a rogues gallery fight and a shootout at the OK Corral. Which there you're going to find maybe some more indication. You're going to find the mining equipment they got set up. You're going to find some of the letters, or you're going to overhear the conversation. I think that's it. You got to get the smoking gun tape where you've got the cadet on the stone of far speech with his boss. He's like, nah, boss. So here's how it's going to go down. We're going to get to the mine. We're going to kill the king. We're going to own this town. And so once you've got your motive explicitly spelled out for your players, you have your explosive fight scene. You bring back some of this evidence of the Zentarim hideout. Hooray, hurrah, you've been exonerated. Nate, does this sound open and shut? Is there an element we're missing here?
I honestly, I'm going to say it. This is bulletproof.
Bulletproof.
And no holes can be punched in this story. It is perfect. Also, the pit could just be an old abandoned mine that they've sealed off and left to be that would make a lot more sense than just a giant pit.
Just a big hole.
It is just an abandoned mine that they thought they had run dry, but actually the mother lode is just underneath and they hadn't dug far enough. And that's what it is. That makes a lot more sense than this town dug an extravagantly large hole.
Like they were in the middle of a quarry, the world's largest dig for buried pirate treasure, and they stopped just 10 feet short of the damn thing.
Just 10 feet short. And that gold is enough to bring Shittsville back up to its old glory, restore the peace. There's enough money for everybody. We don't need no gods, no masters.
Polish that Shittsville into a diamond. So, ladies and gentlemen, One Shot, One Quill is never done. We've never finished an episode without having a name, except for that one time we did, and that was a fuck up. But Nathan, what are we going to call this one?
Oh God, this is where I'm out of my element.
It is always the guest's privilege to have first dibs at the name.
Oh dear. The Lost Mine of Fandelver. No, can't use that one. Somebody got there first. God damn it. The Secret Treasure Under Shittsville.
Ooh, okay, we're getting closer because we've started with the town it actually takes place in. What if we did The Secret of the Shittsville Pits?
Because it's a misadventure beast. The misadventure in the Shittsville Pits.
Misadventure in the Shittsville Pits. Okay, that's it. We've done it. Welcome, everybody, to the end of an I'm so bad at this part. The end of a One Shot, One Quill episode. You've made it. You did it. If you would like to send a suggestion, a premise, a item, what have you, you can tweet us at DNDpod, a handle that we secured like 6 years ago and have sat on until we thought of this podcast.
How no one has tried to poach that from you at this point is beyond me. You should be rich off of that IP.
We should. Someone really should have DM'd us and offered to buy it, but no, never happened. We want to thank Morgan the Bard for our theme song, Alla Tavera del Gulier. That may not be the right pronunciation, but I did 100% emulate the way Ben says it, so I think I get points for that.
That works. Emulation is the best form of flattery.
Of course, we want to thank everyone that has sent in suggestions already. You are wonderful. We love you. We want to thank websites like Kasoon.com and Bakab's Blessed Blog, where we've taken a couple quest prompts to pad out our list. And once again, you know where to find us. Message us any new ideas. Rate and review us on iTunes. That's always appreciated. Thank you to those of you that have already. Nate, would you care to plug anything?
No, listen to this show more. It's great, and it's good fun.
But if you want more of Nathan and I, you can find the Cock and Bull podcast, a comedy and history misadventure in Shittsville, more or less spiritually.
Yeah, most of the time.
We've covered everything from mad scientists to lately a little bit of a holy man spree, a spree of two. And we'll continue that spree again sometime soon, I'm led to believe. But
sometime, I believe it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please continue to stay tuned for Tuesday episodes, and we will catch you next time.